Alright guys, before we continue on, let's you know what, because we didn't even think about this. Let's take this oil filter out. Because it's weird. How the heck did plastic get to that main bearing when it's got to go through the oil filter first? So, what the heck are we going to find when we take out this oil filter? Civi?
Yes?
What are we going to find? I'm asking you a question. Man, that thing stink. You know what, let's I don't see nothing. Let's Ugh. You smell that?
Yeah.
Let's go down here, guys. Let's look at this here.
Can you? Oh no, you're still pouring out.
Prime guard. Yeah, buddy. I don't see nothing in it. Now, let's can you see inside there?
Not really.
Hold on, what about if I get my other light?
Yeah, that would be better.
Alright guys, let me get my other light. Be right back. Alright guys, I got my little mirror here.
Well, if you want us to see plastic pieces, we don't see any.
It looks clear down there and all.
Yeah,
Now,
I see oil.
I'm noticing a little metal piece right in the middle. I think that's a oil backup valve. But I wonder if there was a plastic piece onto that. So we got our new frame filter. Huh. Now I don't know whether it's different. But you see down in there?
What is that?
I don't know. That might be part of the backup valve, but it's a little plastic. It looks like. And if that is, if there was a plastic like button right there, and if there's one on this one, that's.
But we can't really tell if there was one or not because there is oil down there.
No, that ain't the thing. Was there a plastic button on top of that though?
Oh. On top of the oil?
On top of that little centerpiece.
Oh.
Let me see if I can see in there a little bit more. I don't know, guys. It looks like I ain't got time to sit here and cut that open, so y'all just gonna just keep it moving. Now I don't see nothing plastic all around here, so yeah, we're good. Let's put that down. Let's get a little rag here, something. Take a little of the dirty oil. You're supposed to take clean oil. Supposed to take oil, damn it. Alright, let's put this oil filter on. And matter of fact, before we do that, let's just go up here and see if everything's alright. Wait a minute. Can you see that right there at the top?
See.
It looks like right there. Oh, that's just something. I thought that was an oil hole or something, and it was clogged up. But no, there's no oil inside there. So everything is good with that. All right, so let's get our new oil filter. Dang, that thing leaking. Let's get our oil filter on, and we'll be right back. All right, guys. You know what? Before we put the oil filter on, I got my little air blower here, and I got a hose hooked onto it. What I'm going to do is reach down here, and I'm going to just try to I heard air blowing somewhere. You know, this rag right here was moving. Can you see right here? Right here. So that's got to be an oil port.
So does that mean it's clear?
That means it's clear. It means it's clear. Now there's a passage right here as well. What I'm going to do is go down here and see. Actually, what I'm going to do is while you're looking right there, I'm going to go up underneath. Yeah, oil's pouring down out of the crank now, so I know that's clear. But where the oil pickup is, I'm going to put this tube right up in there.
Yeah, it's coming in.
So now we know. You know how oil travels through this. It goes from the pickup to the oil pump. It comes out through here, filters out, and then go out there through the engine. And we also know that when I blow air through here, we know the port is coming up through there, and there's oil on the ground down there, so I know that's clear. Put this back. You want to get all that old stuff out of there. That's good. Oh yeah, everything is oily, which I didn't really want it this time, but that's good. Alright, so let's clean this up. So now we know our oil ports are not clogged. Sitting here having a hard time putting an oil filter on. Yet I can rebuild an engine. Alright guys, let's get this tightened up and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we are in the shed with our pistons. And if you want to just pan over, look at all this stuff we got, everything put together. We still got to take the cylinder head down there to get machined. Now, we're going to start putting this together. But before we do anything, we take our reversible Torx, E10, and we're going to remove each cap. Guys, this is so important with any vehicle, not just this one. You want to make sure you put those rod bearing caps back on the same one you took them off of. So that's why you see I got a mark on the bottom half and the mark up there. Now what we're going to do, because what we're going to do here, we have to take these off anyway. And then we're going to take our bearing and twist that bearing right out of there. Then we're just going to set this down to the side. That's number 4. And then on your rod, the connecting rod, pop that one out. Now these you got to be very careful with, guys, because a lot of rod bearings have little tangs right there. That's to keep this bearing from sliding side to side. If you notice, these don't, so they kind of suck. You got to put those in just right. Now next thing we got to do is inside of here we got to clean this up. See that little oil, that oil marking there? We got to clean all that up. This side of the bearing has to be perfectly dry. No oil, don't lubricate it or nothing. It has to stay dry. And on the other side, on the inside of the bearing, that's when you put a little oil or engine lube. So what we're going to do here Rag, nice clean rag. Spray it. And clean that up. And of course, by the time we install that, it's going to be dry. Now, these connecting rods, these are called cracked rods, which means if you look on the side, look on the inside, you see how it's all rigid and not smooth. A lot of connecting rods are going to be smooth. These are not. The way they manufacture these, they put them together like this and crack them, boom, right in half. If you try to put this on the opposite way, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a gap. These things will not line up. So you got to be careful of that. Going the other way, be right back, guys. Oh, yeah.
I didn't have a second now. We're here.
Alright, so this way, they go together, they fit perfectly. And you cannot, just because it's facing this way, you can't interchange this with any other one. These are a matching set. When you if you mess this up, you got to get this as a set. So let's put this down and put this on number 4, and then I'll bring these up. I like to try to keep things in order. All right, so let's get one more. Pop it off. And if you got a mark, make sure you don't make a mistake and wipe the marks off. You look crazy in the face then. Alright, pop that one off. Now this one, it doesn't matter either way. Now the one with the tang, it does. But this one don't. Alright, let's get the rest of them off, cleaned up, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got those nice and clean, and we did the end caps nice and clean. Now here we got our new bearings. Now guys, this part, I don't know if, well, this is the first bearing, so good. You have to be very careful when you're ordering bearings for your vehicle, whether this vehicle or any vehicle, because if you don't know whether that engine has been rebuilt, you might end up getting the wrong size bearing. Now there's undersized and there's oversized. Now what does that mean?
Standard.
Oh yeah, and standard. Now standard is just a regular size, regular bearing. Undersized is the inside of the bearing is thicker than out here. Oversized is thicker out here, but it's a standard size measurement in here. So you might be wondering, like, how the heck do I know whether the engine's been rebuilt or not? On your bearing,
oh my gosh, what?
You want to go out a bit light better?
No, it's the blurriness. Because it's too small. I'm getting something. It's not that clear though. Well, maybe they can see it. Okay.
You're looking at the STD standard. You want to go out and light? Good.
It's not the lighting. I have light. It's just not that easy to see it. I see the D. Why can't I see the rest of the letters?
I can see from here.
If I start to get closer, it gets blurry. Maybe I need a different angle.
Well, it's good. It's good.
Wait, oh, it was the angle.
Here. You go ahead and mess with that, Sibby.
When you moved it, I was able to see it. Nah, forget it. It's kind of worn down, I think.
All right, so we got that. What do you mean worn down?
Isn't that it right there?
You can see it on your side like that?
I see the D. I don't see the rest of them, though.
Let me see if I get another one. No, forget it. It will say STD. That's for standard size. So we got our standard size bearings. Now this goes for your connecting rod bearings and your main bearings. Are you looking over here, Sivvy?
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do, guys, we're gonna take 4 of the bearings and we're gonna prepare our end caps. So we're going to take us a cap. And again, this don't have the tang inside, so we have to be careful and set that thing right in the center. Now you'll have a little bit of play in it. I mean, you can have a little bit of, you know, take this thing out. And you can go a little bit to each side.
So once you put it in, you can't like slide it if you're off a little?
Let me see. It's kind of a little difficult to try to slide it.
Oh.
But you can though. And see right now, I got that just about, or if not, perfect on each side.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
Alright, so I'm going to put that one down, and we're going to do one more together. Let's get us a bearing.
Oh, you could just hire somebody else to do it.
You hire me, well you better be ready. Come out your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Alright, so now this is what I like to do. I like to take one side and get that side. Let's back up because when you move, you block my light.
I block your light. Okay.
Alright, so what I like to do is get one side pretty much lined up. And then push on the other side. And once if one side's sticking up, then you can always just push that side down to get to even up. Now you can, let me see. Now you can tell I'm off on this side a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is try to see if I move it over. See, but you don't want to move it and it be crooked. So that's why I like to, just like to take that back out. Better. It's real stupid. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what possessed them to do that. All right, how's that?
Okay.
Straight.
Yep.
All right, now get where my bolt at. Okay, that's number 2. All right, let's get the other 2 done, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, now we're not going to put the bearings on this side yet because when we push those pistons down into the block, we don't want those bearings to pop out of there. So, let's get ready to put our rings on. The first thing we're going to do, take one of our pistons, put it in a vise, and I just want to hold it just a little bit. And what I'm going to do here is, let me turn this a little bit. I got the front of the piston facing me. I wanted to show you this angle because how we're going to line these rings up. Now we're using Molly rings, which is very good, and it tells you this section right here is for the 3rd groove, this one's for the 2nd groove, and this one's for the 1st groove. Now what the heck I'm talking about grooves? On your pistons, you're going to have, you can see grooves in there. That's the top groove, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The 2 top ones are for your compression rings. And this one right here is to clean the oil in the cylinders. Alright, so what you're going to do is start from the bottom one. So, on your bottom one right here, you're going to have 4 expansion rings and 8 little rings that go on each side. There's going one on the top and one going on the bottom. So let's grab us an expansion ring first. Now, when you put this ring on there, you want to make sure that that ring does not do this right here. You want to make sure when you put those in, they butt together just like that. So let's take this, and what I like to do is like take one end of the ring, put it into the groove, and just spiral down into the X one. Now they lined up perfectly. You can see right there how they boot together. Now what I like to do is that opening right there, I like to position it right there, right in the center of the wrist pin. Okay, that one's good. Next thing I'm gonna do, I might as well take two of them out. One. Be careful because these rings, you know, they're so small that you can grab two and thinking you got one, then you'll be all messed up. So you want to make sure you got just one. So now what we're gonna do is, now on this, the gap on this ring right here, now we know our opening is right there. One gap, one ring, the lower ring, is going to be about an inch, inch and a half to the left, and then the other one, the top one I put in, is going to be an inch, inch and a half to the right. Do not keep them lined up. So we're gonna put this one right about here, and then spiral around. Okay, now that is off right there. Let me see, where's my opening at? Did I? Sometimes, man, sometimes, okay, my opening is right there. So now this, and what I'm doing is taking my fingernail to hold the expansion ring in, and then I can turn the other one. Okay. You gotta take your time in doing this, guys. You don't rush. Okay, and it's about right there. Turn it a little bit more. Right about there. That is good. You gotta make sure that ring is on the bottom of that expansion ring.
So if that one goes on the bottom, how come you don't put that one in first?
Because it's very difficult to get that expansion ring in there if you put this in there first. Okay. Now, the top one is going to be over here. On the top of that expansion. And you want to just spiral that around. Into the top groove. Ooh, yeah, buddy, man. Look at that, guys. That thing look perfect. Yeah, buddy. You got that, Zivvy?
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. The next thing. Now, that's what I do. Now, a lot of manufacturers will have different orientation on where they want you to put the rings. Out of all the ones I found this method right here over the years, that this method works best. Because you do have, there's, I forgot what manufacturer it was. They actually have a recall because the piston rings spin and it'll suck. So do it this way and you're guaranteed to work. The next thing we're going to do is go and pull the ring out our second groove. And matter of fact, you know what? Let's take this ring to the outside so I can show you a mark on it. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, we got our rings down here. Here's our second groove and here's our top groove. Now, your rings are going to have marks on them to let you know to install them on the top side. Don't get them confused. Alright, this is for the top ring. And if you look right there, you can see it says M top. That's the Molly thing. And right to the right of that, you're going to see a little dot. Mm-hmm. So we know that ring, that faces to the top. Now if you go to the other side, you're not going to see nothing. There is nothing on this ring. So you got to make sure it goes to the top. Now that's the groove number one. Groove number two it's more clear. You can see where it says top. So make sure your rings, make sure when you install them, make sure you're putting in them in the right way. Alright, let's get these in onto the piston. Be right back. Alright guys, now when you're installing these rings, you got to be very careful. There's actually a tool to install them, but you're not going to really need the tool. But you want to be sure you be careful because these things will break on you. So what I'm going to do is set that one groove right there, set it in there, and then I'm going to just slowly bring it around, and this is called spiraling, and spiral it right into place. It's perfect. Now on this ring right here, what I like to do is, let me see, this is going to set the front, so I'm going to set this one, I'm going to set the openings perpendicular with each other. Okay, now let's get our first groove. And make sure I got the top. Okay. Then, same thing. Set one groove, start off with one. And just slowly spiral it around until you get it. And what I like to do is I'm going to set this gap over here. Okay, now we are ready to install number 4. Now, there's 2 different tools you can use to install your pistons. Now when you do this, guys, you got to use it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You got to use one of these tools. Because to put this into the cylinder, you have to have a tool to squeeze and hold those rings together while you push it down into the block. So let's get the tools. I got 2 different ones. I'm going to show you each one. Alright, we'll be right back.